organization, we can communicate with operations requirements, and video visits. Yeah, and make it available on Chrome. Just a quick list of features that we built on WebRTC. We have besides the video, pretty much just use the WebRTC conferencing. We have a self-test feature where before they go into the camera and the others is all good to go.
Are you using the WebRTC tools for that? The self-test WebRTC tools?
No, I can show you the self-test.
Oh, cool. You gonna demo? Sweet!
You can see yourself and play tomorrow. We do the packet loss detection feature, which basically is another high packet loss, and we will basically tell the user to sure they're in good network.
Bandwidth estimator, and where's
yeah, it's tied to that, and from the WebRTC connection gets that method, you get packet loss, and then based on the listens and some threshold.
Cool.
We collect statistics during the call, the connection, and take those and periodically submit it to the Elasticsearch. So we get them either through RabbitMQ, and we have a nice Kibana dashboard where we do lots of data. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Sweet. How do you guys like using RabbitMQ?
Oh, right now we have more services. Everything. Patients can basically show their into the camera and click the screenshot and the attached to the case. We can
nice.
To the
Okay, alright. See that being useful.
Yeah, I guess I'll just give you a quick demo of WebRTC so that we can all get
Sweet.
understanding of how it
So,
works.
is this deployed in Canada or US, or where's the main deployment for this? The US.
2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago, we launched it. Because originally in Canada, and yeah, one of our biggest problems is the quality. It's health data, and it has to be stored in Canada. It can't be our service. But the US, everything has to be stored on the service. So yeah, that's a big challenge. That's also why we can't use any providers. Yeah, any WebRTC data always goes to this. That was originally the problem, so that's why you roll out of it.
So, you have to roll your own.
Yeah, but right now.
Nice.
And then our set product here that so I had one appointment here with MedBar.
Is this doctor?
That's at the doctor's.
The doctor
That's
admin?
where they basically restore appointments.
So this would be like the admin behind the desk. Cool.
It's quite different. It's much older.
So
Nice.
I'm waiting for my patient to show up here. I don't know where
Come on, dude.
he is.
Doctors always.
You should be playing some funky music,
Oh, we
Absolutely.
right?
So this connected.
We built that. Yeah, that's it. There he is.
Yeah, wow.
How are you feeling today?
A little bit headache last night. Weeks ago.
Recorded as well? Is the stream recorded as well?
No.
No. Should it be? No.
Aside from function.
Right.
That's pretty much what we call the menu room.
That's pretty good, right?
We can
Are you going to exclude yourself?
Huh?
Are you going to exclude yourself?
What is that? Meetup. Oh, let's take a screenshot.
Oh, that's our new feature.
Yeah, I'm going to show you.
Yeah, show me. That's why it hurts.
It's about
Another one?
That's you.
That's yeah, it works. And and yeah. I will thank you about it. I'll see you shortly. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much that works, and our sales test is self-support test.
And again, this is for like the doc.
It's pretty much for like,
There's this on the client side as well.
just show it for the
Okay.
concept setup.
Right. Typical kind of
Yeah.
camera microphone test.
I'm going to give you.
Nice. And it went off without a hitch.
Just continue with the timeline. I can tell a little timeline about our history with WebRTC. So basically, in January 2013, we launched Medio as a private beta with proprietary video technology, not WebRTC, and it was no. That was running flat-free. It required some desktop software that ran in parallel while we were using the web app and Flash for the software. It's not the event.
So I'm curious, you're using exclusively WebRTC technology now?
Yeah.
So what do you tell your patients when because they're coming in via a native app, right? Or they're coming in through a desktop.
Yeah.
So what do you tell them when they arrive at the site in like Safari?
They will be told to download Chrome.
Right. They'll be politely asked to not use that browser.
I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Why we did it.
Didn't need to steal your thunder, bud.
Problems around it. Yeah, it was good. So we basically launched in January 2013. In March, we officially launched. We went out of beta. And basically by March, buying WebRTC with widget. And in April 2013, we rolled out WebRTC for Chrome and the feature flag. Because we got it to work with we looked at the feature flag and we had our fallback proprietary video conferencing that we were already using, so that is always our fallback.
So that falls in line with my commercial implementations of web.
I was
I'm making me look like a doorknob here.
yeah, and sure, we made WebRTC the default for Chrome, still with fallback, but yeah, we always had the fallback, so we were able to experiment and work like that. So in September we had Firefox support with fallback. So all change early now.
So for the guys that don't know what turn, a quick high level.
It's basically a relay server, and when your peers are not able to communicate with each other directly, you can relay the media stream through. very hard communication. Yes.
Yep.
High level overview.
Yep.
In November that year, we rolled out WebRTC for Android, followed by WebRTC for iOS in 2014. And at that, before that, we already had an iOS activity running on the.
Android, you mean an app and into that? Or you mean
It's
the Android browser?
Meetup. And by March 2013, we made Chrome the only supported browser because we our existing video treated the old.
And that was all done in Flash.
Now we're
That was done in Flash, right?
well, it was we had the desktop client running, and
So
we
they plug in.
communicated with it through Flash. So we turned to that. WebRTC. Last year we had
So you made a point of mentioning there that you decided to support WebRTC in Chrome only.
Yeah.
Not Chrome and Firefox. And I expect I expect there's something coming. That's
Yeah, that's yeah. Let's just go through the major problems that we faced now and yeah, what problems we're having. So basically, one of the major problems that we had, we were dealing with an evolving standard, and as we out to production kind of changing and pieces of different in the computer, and yeah, it was interesting. I mean, that was completely our fault that we were playing around with it, and it worked well enough so that we could actually video conferencing implementation from WebRTC from the first version. After we figured out how to get through firewalls, we could all these components set up. After that, as I already mentioned, we rolled out Firefox, and Firefox seemed to, every now and then, we had some weird crashes at that time. Although they claimed that German is supported, it didn't look like reference of it. And we had crashes whenever we conference were not from Firefox. And that was one of the reasons why we.
It's not just him to turn off WebRTC support for Hangouts for anything else besides Chrome as well. It's not just you guys.
Well, and then we basically had apps that were using WebRTC. And those. And then we realized there's a lot of different ways how to get using the data that works now on Chrome and on Firefox. For instance, you can't really, at least at the last year, you couldn't really specify any constraints for the video stream. You could request audio through, video through, audio video false, but you couldn't request for the frame rate or the resolution. That was a problem. Then the encryption that was available, or we were using SDS encryption for the native apps for a while, and then DTLS by default, and all of a sudden we discovered it when we were UATing, and we were on Canary, and we catched it early enough. We told, remember we had to tell our MOA and the at that time we turned on, restarted our own.
That's one
we shipped some bug fixes and we got the app expedited, and we were good. Definitely exciting. Then the support. Yeah.
So which one are you writing right now?
There.
Which code?
Coded. BPA. And I said.
And the tests that we've done, at least, and I'm sure Chris and Danny's group can speak to the VP8 in iOS is fine. It's not like you're using it 8 or 9 hours a day. It's not like so the battery consumption isn't all that huge, right? Is that kind of the same thing you guys are finding?
We've actually had discharge while they're plugged in.
I digress. What are you streaming at? 1080?
Oh, it's like 640 by 480, nothing too special.
Oh yeah, no. But I think is that for a longer call?
Our devices are kind of connected all the time. So
Right.
It's something where, of course, you're asking a lot.
So for the general usage, right? It's not going to be a permanent, call that lasts 20. The average call length is what, 35? In long conversations. So 5 minutes is. So it's not too bad.
So the codec issue, for instance, we want to use as a kind of problem. Yeah, that's why we basically enforce something WebRTC another problem was that the native code package that we use for Android was rather incomplete. I mean, we were working on Android. Android was pretty well also very complete. There were some mobile-specific features missing, like button captures, at least for the Java. Basically, we just worked around it until that we did, or you could. And then we started with volume only, and the whole video rendering was that component basically wasn't there, and then the demo code, the WebRTC demo that provided, which is basically a reference, was audio only. So to basically roll our own video rendering API, the connection that sets what missing. So everything was there in the Objective-C native WebRTC library, but the Objective-C bindings weren't there. So we basically had to write a bridge for that.
Yeah.
So we rolled our own, which made we basically ended up we got stuck with the WebRTC regulation. We really had to update to try and the build system, yes, and for those changes. Yeah.
The only one that suffered that fate.
Yeah.
How many suffered that fate? I know.
Sorry?
We the exact same thing. Yeah.
I think what I've heard is Facebook they did the exact same thing. They're stuck too. Yeah. Everything should be good. Pretty good. But the last time around the last couple of weeks going to on iOS actually the better.
Now, is that like now?
Right now.
Just now.
Right now, all the demo apps are pretty much things are pretty all those things. True.
It's a good time to have this in order.
Right? Very timely.
Yeah, so besides those evolving APIs, the problem we had especially on mobile was how to build that was definitely challenging. System with lots of dependencies and moving parts, and every now and then it breaks, and yeah, it takes 5 minutes if you want to get the time we started doing that, there was only like a documentation with some people that we can figure out how to design.
Yeah, you can't, running the Android or SDK on Mac OS X is not an enjoyable exercise.
You can use stuff also. Very time consuming, it takes real time. Especially when you write it was 32-bit only for quite a while. The official build script only supported 32 bits, which was a problem because now only submit 64 bits was good. So they a couple of months ago, and now there's a nice smooth purpose. So how do you build native code? How would you build it today? Or how would I build it today? We still have our like for the version that we can use, or the one that we basically had. We have our own build scripts. Today you can build WebRTC or native code. Very instructions for how to build it. All the variables that you need to set, all the variables, what they do, how the output system works. It's pretty well documented. You should give it a try just for the and it might only take an hour. So, if you want to build gas, look at the talk to and run that, and after you check the process, and that should do it. I used it last week or 2 weeks ago, and that was driving that, and that. Send it out to other than that, you could do WebRTC build scripts on GitHub, which is a project that Christina that also sent to the help. They work with WebRTC a lot as well, and they had the same problems and with build menus into WebRTC, so they compiled these nice build scripts that you can use to build nice libraries, and they also use vagrant and non-links machine. And they also put some builds on code, which is amazing. Thank you guys for that. So now you can, if you want to utilize it, and for your iOS app, you just got install, and they're good. Next problem, big problem we faced was the performance on mobile, especially on iOS. As we've already heard today, well, after we basically built everything and we had a working application put together, we noticed that audio was lots of audio, which is pretty much not easy to do anymore, especially on older devices, good old OS. And there were lots of crashes. There's lots of time. But then, currently the bandwidth estimation we had really bad, or was one of the reasons for why. Because whenever we started a video conference, it was the defaults, and it was way too much for the mobile CPU, and it was just clogging it up. CPU adaptation was pretty bad, so it was just TV anything.
Crashing devices.
Yeah, but that was pretty much why. We also realized that the audio codec didn't fall on the focus because it's way more resource hungry and intensive than ISEC. And as soon as we basically used ISEC, that was one step into like reducing the CPU load. And
were you using variable bitrate, or was it a set bitrate?
I actually don't
Static
remember. I don't know. Even in their WebRTC demos, they have those preferred ISAC calls everywhere when we switch to ISAC. So
You went from Opus to ISAC?
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and that did it. I mean, Opus was working fine on iPhone 5s or
Going for the lowest common
4X,
denominator.
which yeah, which I really like. ISAC did the truth there. In order to swap out or change the autocode, get to edit the session description and manually swap out there. We also limited the frame rate to 15 frames per second that has a lot, as well as turning down the resolution to 240. We basically built a dynamic, built like a little feature where our apps got the preferred frames and the audio codec they should use from the servers, so that we were in control of because when we rolled out WebRTC for iOS, we weren't sure how it will act up in the world, and we wanted to be in control of it. It takes too long to resubmit an app to the app, so we want to be in control of this, so we basically built this dynamic.
Resolution limit screenshot, your screenshot feature, or is that?
No, that's for the video stream. While you start a video conference on iPhone, it will basically it will start off with that resolution and I put it.
The screenshot, does it give you a screenshot exactly of 320 by 240 because of the high resolution?
No, the author will then grab however the video stream.
Right. It's not requesting.
It's just grabbing the current frame.
Not a secondary channel or anything.
Yeah, no, it's just screenshot feature. It's just grabbing the current
Okay, that's
Rash.
frame. Or you can to branch. Apparently, the dependent estimation improved a lot. No?
Further back at the moment, so I'm at like N42, I guess, for Chrome, so I can't tell you the latest ones are a lot better, but
Right there.
like 884, 44,
Oh.
the Chrome N42.
Oh, wow.
They improved it last year. I was in San Francisco at the 20 week WebRTC event, and they were
cool.
talking about improve the video camera in the next couple of Chrome versions, so it's in there again. We want to. They basically implemented for mobile and HD video conferencing and they also tweaked the CPU adaptation. It was amazing and another problem we always have is the ever-changing and people sometimes tend to not
Notice.
recognize it, or they have to interact with this. Waiting in front of the screen to see the button, and the button doesn't show up. So everyone's building their own modals and arrows that point towards those buttons, and then they just switch those buttons overnight, and then your arrow points to it's very designer's nightmare moments. So that's the new rule. They changed it just a weeks ago. It's bubble. And
Backwards.
like, oh no, we changed it again. So basically, what we do now is we just show a backdrop, and that's it. And people should be able to see. No more errors.
I think
That's how Opera does it. They pretty much do the same. They also just have a backdrop and they overlay it. Yeah, maybe you would.
they promised they're going to fix that. Justin gave me his word.
Yeah, that's what they promised.
Yeah.
Apparently, because last year in June we were talking about it too. Oh, it's so bad. We improved it. Yeah. there now. Then public integration testing. We're still QAing our video conference and all the time. We have a lot of unit tests, but we didn't really find how to properly set up and we just have to take time and set it up, but it's nice to hear more about integration tests. And when I saw that on Weber testing, they decided to talk about it, and there are apparently some context that might be integration tests. Provide a fake meter stream for testing. Maybe that's helpful for someone who better check it out. Oops. With something like that. You see? Last slide, I promise, is just want to give some tips. Stack, what helped me, and first thing I would everybody, whenever you have any issues or you hit a wall, go to the WebRTC issue tracker and see if other people have the same problem. And if you see an existing issue that exactly describes a problem, make sure to start it. That's how they prioritize internally. So the more stars an issue has, the higher it is in the backlog. It moves up. To run into the problem that no one else had before, but sure to open the issue. But issue tracker is definitely up. And there's the Discuss WebRTC forum that is a great place for getting help. Maybe getting a chance to talk to the Google engineers that work on WebRTC on there answering questions.
They're pretty responsive.
Yeah, they're pretty responsive. Yeah. So that's a good place. If you're trying to build your own app and you should put pieces together and you want to know, especially on native or mobile, most people were started with, they have the WebRTC demo is basically on the WebRTC.com, demo application is open source and they are a reference. So go check it out. It's tough. It's pretty. They're pretty big.
Big samples.
Yeah, they're quite big samples. But you can work your way through it. You'll get an understanding. So that helps.
Based on that, the newest stuff in that repo about a week ago, it took a couple hours, and we had a working sample and Chrome on Mac. So nice. It works.
Yeah, definitely. Or just play around with them if you're interested. Definitely the experience. When I got stuck sometimes, I also read the code because I didn't. How do report structure? I have no idea. It's not documented anywhere. Whatever is written in the specification doesn't match with the requirements. So, the read the source code and you'll find a lot of information there to trust me. Or on the patch.
Have you guys submitted patches back to?
Unfortunately not.
Or understandably,
to make it happen and get it working.
I wasn't implying that you should. I was just trying to figure out if you had an experience.
No, unfortunately not. And every time, like when we do the Objective-C bindings, I spend a week on figuring out how it works, and And a week later, they rolled it. They rolled it out, and it wasn't fun. But it was fun. Another good place if you want to know how things work is beside the WebRTC or IPT crafts, and we put a lot of information there. And
Spend a lot of time reading drafts.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause- and they don't always sync up with what's in the browser.
Yeah.
But good to know.
Or if you have a problem and you're stuck and you don't know how to get out of it, just wait and work around it, and in 2 months. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Elias. I have the first question.
Okay.
Unless somebody else wants to go first. Okay, so the patient arrives at your site.
Yeah.
And he's using Safari.
Yeah.
You present him with download Chrome. Handle that situation. And how have you found of the user from them arriving there to them having to visit in that situation? How's that happen?
Yeah. So we don't. Video conferencing is not the only product we sell. So we'll also our secure messaging feature that they still want to be able to access, so we can completely lock them up. It wouldn't make any sense. They also want to be able to browse the appointment list, to look at their previous visits and all that data that they own. It's pretty much working in Safari or IE or whichever browser you want to use. But the video conferencing is disabled, so on your appointment station, how the patient side looks like.
Oh, thanks, guys.
That's pretty much what the patient sees, and with an appointment, it will be listed here, and you'll have the button. I don't have an appointment right now. Or that's pretty much the walking button right here for the walking thing. This button would be disabled if you're in Safari, and it would tell you, basically that is not supported, and you need to use Google Chrome or iOS.
So in the case of that, when they want to show you their rash, right, or thereabouts, how do you find the drop-off, right? Are you seeing in your analytics, are you seeing a huge drop-off, or are you seeing, a small drop when people go through that step, that things fall apart generally, or what happens?
Good question. I don't know about those numbers. But I think everyone here already committed to see the doctor, and I think
Suck it up.
it's still so much more convenient than
Right.
getting into the car and driving to the walking clinic and sitting there for 2 hours.
Dealing with rush hour
With your
traffic
child,
and sitting in the
with your
waiting
baby
room.
and that's super.
Pretty unique use case.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think a lot of people just.
And how's biz?
Biz?
Hockey stick growth?
Of course. No,
Awesome.
it's going good.
Awesome.
And
And you guys are deploying primarily in the US right now, right?
well,
Oh, okay. And you're moving to your deployments to the US recently, or
we moved the SaaS software to the SaaS software.
Oh, okay.
States, that people can use in the States.
Got it. Pilot?
Market is like,
Pilot?
Canada's different. Canada has a solution like this.
Plenty.
Some other similar ones.
Right.
When I first tried this, I was like, I believe I can do this. But in the States.
Cool. That's cool. Thanks so much for sharing with us. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Anybody else have any questions for Tobias and his crew?
Just like
Yeah.
like academics, right? Like people online right now, like for an open source, like if I were a patient, I don't know anything about tech.
Yeah.
Hey, will my conference be secure? Right? Do the whole screening.
It's a good question.
If they're concerned about it.
How do you guys respond to it? I see like you have secure messaging, but you never said we have secure video conference.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but our marketing website was all about security, and sales people are definitely mentioning it. Yeah, it's.
You're using DTLS now, or SDS, or
DTLS
Right.
everywhere,
so it's
and except for Facebook, mobile to mobile. Yeah, they use SDS. Yeah, we use that, and everything is on our data centers. People are.
Do they ever ask? I mean, like, just wondering, like,
I'm not sure. I'm
It
pretty
doesn't
sure.
sound like it. He probably would have heard about it.
But every now and then people are asking people questions.
I mean, in terms of security, this on a scale of financial institutions. So from that, we've totally covered. Everything is over HTTPS. So, of whether asked about security, most of the time these questions are going to coordinators or to sales.
Yeah.
The standard, all the data is stored in Canada. The number of people in our company that can access production servers are, and we need two because if one is not available, we need another. All of us developers, like there are strict regulations, right? All of us developers have just obfuscated data to test, so we cannot just dump the database on our computer. No, we'd be very liable if that happened. In terms of the US, there's also something called HIPAA. And we have to go through a HIPAA training in order for us to operate in the healthcare market. And there were small differences when we launched in the US as well. The coverage of security. So, and we take it very, very seriously. Like, there's an option, for example, second factor authentication. GitHub stuff, where we basically send messages. And some patients, change their phone number and then they can't log in. And there's only one person in the whole company that can actually change those numbers. And when you on the phone, you ask them questions to verify them, like what is your address, birthday, just to make sure that it's actually done. So we take for that. Whether there is a page, yes, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there's something on the marketing website. You just do it.
How you're using SRTP and you're encrypting all the media.
Yes, so files are encrypted, for example.
And the capture, the stream is probably encrypted with SRTP, I'd imagine.
Sorry?
SRTP? Secure RTP? The media?
There's some.
I'd just say yes.
Yes.
What's general customer reaction to the system? Making this a video over the web, experience rather than going into an office. Do you find that certain age groups are more comfortable with it, or there's a specific market that finds this solves their problem? Just with these kinds of
The seeing a doctor online? Yeah. Well,
Is it the ground hips or is it the yuppies that just fell off their snowboard?
like people that really are, people I talk to that are really, for instance, I met a young mother. She just got her first child and she was so excited about it. It was so convenient for her. Actually, you're worried about the kids all the time. It just made it so convenient for her to see a doctor, and she didn't have to take the kids and go there. and spend so much time. So that's pretty cool.
What's the average? Sorry, what's the average turnaround? He's never been there before. How long does it take from signing up to seeing a doctor? Wow.
Nice.
Signing up for that service, dude. It's on there enough.
It's like the MOAs are waiting like a few minutes. And those MOAs are like receptionists, I guess.
Right.
Who connected to a doctor. I've used it a few times. They sign you up. They make sure the information is got to figure out whether you should use it. Like, so is your arm broken? Okay, you really can't.
So,
At 7-8 minutes until you see the doctor, that if you use the walking clinic, there is, as he mentioned,
yep.
and they will say if there is a doctor available, link you through.
Right.
If not,
I was going to ask a question if these are the same clinics that people are walking into. 2 hours in the waiting room and he's at his computer. Notes.
No,
taking another call. I'm just kidding. I don't expect it would be. So the on the client side, on the clinic side, sorry, these guys are all students specifically, or are they just doctors working out of their office, or what's the general?
Like for the walking clinic, they're set up to accept the
Oh, cool. Basically, another client and it becomes a virtual client.
Yeah,
okay.
For extra money, because one of the main things that changed for video is that they can now charge for a phone call or a video call. Previously, like 3 years ago, you couldn't do that as a doctor, which means then you just lose your business.
Okay, so the legislation changed too.
That's what
it changed in BC. One of the problems we had with the initial business model,
right?
Because it worked in BC because we had fee codes for video conferencing, but in other regions in Canada there wasn't. So then we turned around the business model and basically it's what you see today, what you saw there, which is a SaaS product that practitioners are paying a monthly fee, but it pays off with all the.
So they brand it in their brand and people.
No, there isn't any custom branding.
There's no private labeling.
No.
Oh, smart.
So far
the
it's
virtual clinic,
pure
you don't
knowledge.
pay like credit cards.
That is so cool. In.
The description look like, surely they're not going to be able to find it.
Well,
That's a good question.
You basically get a copy of it on the phone, and the actual ones. You basically select the preferred funds, so they ask you what funds is, so you should send it.
Okay, they connect to the phone.
And it's already getting sent there. And a friend of mine was in town a couple of weeks ago, and she wasn't even Canadian, and she got sick and asked me if I know a doctor. And it was Saturday, and I didn't want to go to work, so I looked her up with Media, I signed her up for Media, and we also needed a prescription. And we've been at the pharmacy before. Yeah, we've been like, I don't know, 40 minutes.
It's amazing. Like that's the pharmacy for you. You go pick it up.
That is so much more efficient.
This is for the walking.
For that case. Other cases, to get back to the original question, I think for counseling it's pretty interesting, or for a lot of people use it for follow-ups with their practitioners. So if you have your first visit in person, they check, they schedule an appointment with you on mail, etc.
That's pretty awesome because if you think about it, like, most of the doctors don't want to, right? It's like, I don't want to get whatever that is.
I don't want to sit in a waiting room with lots of sick people. It's going to make me sick at that.
We had like colleagues working with us where they needed a refill of the prescription. They didn't need to take 2 or 3 hours off in the afternoon. They just did it in a breakout room.
Yeah, very cool implementation of the technology. Awesome.
In early on times, very well.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of quick. How big is the team?
2, 3, 4.
Wow.
Well, at that point there was 4.
Yeah, we were always like that.
What was the first version then? Look like this is polished and
Well, the sash version it's like pretty
The only main difference, I think, in the first version for the patient side was that what Toby mentioned in the beginning, where he was proprietary, and that caused to switch from the Measure app to the actually video app, and that was like not a great
the
experience. And then we eliminated that.
So the video screen was basically in the desktop and not in the browser.
Is that vendor still around?
Yeah.
Not on our code base.
Yeah, they're still they're investigating, or they're into the WebRTC game now too.
Okay.
We basically had hardware for the first, like for that video technology. We had our own hardware that we had to put.
Yeah.
Through which all the video comes.
Interesting.
Just how I mentioned the user actually use all 3 of them.
So you're one of the testimonials with no name.
Nice.
So
That's-
they had fun with all 3.
So that's really cool.
I say stooge. They put you in.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Have you guys investigated other countries? Like I know you talked about the U.S., but have you looked at like Australia, for instance?
So one of our sales guys was talking with one potential client in Australia for about an hour and a half. So when they are selling, when they're trying to sell, they use our technology.
So you guys are authorized to work in Australia as well, then?
No.
Oh, you don't have any
This is
SaaS
just for
deployments?
For them.
Okay. And my brother owns like clinics in Australia, so it'd be interesting to have him. Have you guys investigated any of the legislation there at all with this in mind?
Not that I know.
If you're guys are changing your business model, does that mean DC operation like change? There's no states.
No, the clinic is still there. We just so initially Manuel started with the virtual and the technology provider, which was the same company. So last year we sold the virtual clinic, which is operated with Equinox. They're still in the same office. It's just a different room. But
So you're the technology provider
once they
now.
provide the technology, they have coordinators or healthcare systems that provide the Equinox service.
So somebody else could do that Equinox part in Australia, for instance.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, we have to go for legal
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
it. We want to be the provider.
Yeah. That sounds pretty
Both for the
compelling.
clinics individually and to get virtual clinics. Actually, the company that bought us built EMR technology, which is like doctors use in their offices, and they actually want to build this in their own side of things so that they can do chat from their software to Manual for the customer side.
Cool. Anybody else have any more questions?
Does it matter where I'm going from? Regarding, let's say, Hong Kong, and I still Hong Kong.
But you have to have a
If
Canadian.
you're,
doctor recently.
you can definitely.
Yeah. With answering the call, and this is not a joke.
What was
It's
the
not-
was the client
The
in
patient
Canada?
was here in BC.
Oh, okay.
He,
Are there still legal implications?
so that's up to the doctor. that's on the all terms of service.
They were using Turn, and all the data was going.
Commercials has like some terms or some but so
No, the way we don't restrict on practitioners the way they use it. There are legal implications for that. They sign terms of service and take it down.
Something I tell
Yeah.
It sounds like I could be. I'm still in Hawaii, but subject to language.
No, you're
That's pretty cool. Awesome. Thanks again, Tobias.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for coming. I think that pretty much wraps it, unless anybody else wants to yak WebRTC in general. I know that we got some guys here from Perch who are.
Christmas open source stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that I had something about SDK. Why don't you come up here and?
Eric, it's going to
Oh, hello. Hello.
So what's enough? It's a regular group thing. Or are you going to do more?
Yeah, well, this is the inaugural WebRTC meetup, and there'll be the inaugural. Yeah. So there'll be more coming. So yeah, I'd try and find a regular facility if I can lay hands on one. But these guys have been really accommodating. The Launch Academy is.
Yeah, like I got a pretty good interest in it so far. So.
Yeah, it's Vancouver WebRTC and meetup.
Sweet.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay. Cheers.
Yeah. Cool. So, my name is Chris. I work with Perch, and our product is an always-on video conferencing solution. So it's sort of to connect one space to another, and it's like a virtual window, essentially.
It's pretty.
Imagine because of that, it's a lot of challenges. We're always on, so we're using WebRTC up to maybe 8 hours a day at a time.
This is a use case that is just
killer. Yeah. Talk about battery life.
Yeah.
We've had iPads that have discharged. So we support all the way back to the iPad 2 and the iPad Mini. So that's kind of like the slowest, and the 4S and all that stuff. So because of that, we've had a lot of performance issues, especially running them all day long without discharging batteries, without overheating devices so they shut off in direct sunlight, things like that.
So hardware accelerators would probably be your
It might
friend
help a little bit.
in that situation.
Absolutely. So what we did was just a sample app. It's kind of analogous to
Cool.
kind of analogous to the app RTC sample. So we have one called Perch RTC, and it's basically just a sort of our version of a sample app. Maybe I put that on GitHub. So yeah, what it demonstrates is just
You go, Danny.
Hey. Yeah, you talk and steal that TV anyway. So basically, what the sample app does is it's all right up there. Just a little demo. This is not something we use in production just yet. It's kind of like we're
Your sound.
in-house essentially. So
Cool.
but we do use a provider at the moment, but we want to
So
much more.
hold on a sec, Danny.
We got a lot of stuff here.
So ice servers.
Yeah.
What?
It's done turn. What?
Oh, okay. So
maybe that's a bad.
not servers. Okay.
Yeah.
Ice is more a client
Fair
side thing,
enough.
right?
Yeah. It's all connection establishment.
It's all marketing.
Yeah. So basically, we just had partnered with Xerxes, who
So who is Xerxes?
do managed hosting of essentially sun and turn servers. So I guess for us, we want to bring a really good client to the table and not worry so much about dealing with the hosting of reliable sun and turn servers, essentially.
Right.
So yeah, we're kind of looking at just building the best client that we can. At the moment, we are really focused on iOS, so that's kind of where we've been in terms of optimizing and working the problem.
Cool.
So yeah, it's a cool sample app. You can check it out. We've done a lot of stuff like replace rendering, capture, modify the audio, connection negotiation.
Sound
that kind of
familiar?
stuff. Yeah, just kind of all those problems that you might have. Yeah, we got a few. We're a little bit behind on Chrome 42 essentially, so we need to upgrade ourselves.
So you guys.
Open anybody want to help? It's open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Open source.
What's the license on this?
That's MIT.
Nice. Well done.
Right, so yeah, essentially, it's just a cool sample app you can check out at the moment. What we want to do is turn this into a bit more of a library on top of WebRTC.
You have a sample running? Oh, he does. Look at him go.
Yeah,
You fire up yours, Chris?
oh boy, we're gonna maybe get some echo.
Sweet. Real-time demo of purchase.
I don't know if I have it right now. Let's see here. I have like a dev build or something. Overlord. Oh, that's who you are.
Oh,
Very nice.
Nice.
sweet.
Hello.
And that's right. That's
Go sideways.
straight out of the box. That's compiling an IPA from Xcode right out of the box.
And you got a little sample app and run it. Again.
That's awesome, you guys.
Install and build one. So yeah, basically what we've done is just we try to optimize for
a lot of different device combinations.
Hold that. You can do multi-party.
Can be multi.
No.
We can do some multi-party. It's a little bit limited at the moment. It's 3 at the moment, but we do that.
Start.
Doing
Well, I'm also doing airplay at the same time. So
oh yeah, so that's living performance is triple duty. Yeah. Triple duty. Yeah. So yeah, the app's just very simple at the moment. Take on the WebRTC sample essentially. So when we started, it was a little bit later than what you guys started, maybe December of 2015. So just as video was kind of getting into, it wasn't quite there yet. So yeah, we got a number of options here. So this is like our custom renderer that is kind of more performance oriented than the OpenGL version, and this is kind of just a very educational but slow renderer that just uses for animation to draw. Got just a few options you can see here. So that's it.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool. Okay, well, if you guys have any suggestions in terms of, because I'd like to kind of keep the ball rolling and keep her going. So if you guys have any suggestions in terms of what you want to see being, if it's more technical, that's cool. If it's less technical, that's cool too. If there are certain use cases that you want to see, let me know and I'll see if I can try and make it happen. I'm going to try and get specific, case-specific calls going on with some of the guys from Google and try and bring in some of the guys from Microsoft as well to talk about the OR story. So get kind of like a virtual round, some specific use case stuff as it relates to WebRTC you want to see being discussed that maybe you haven't seen before or you have and you want more detail on, please let me know and I'll try and get it happening. Cool.
Happy to chat about iOS if you want.
Pardon me?
We can go into more detail if you want.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys on presentation.
Yeah, I was going to help.
Yeah, no, it was pretty darn good off the cuff.
But yeah, we put a lot of time and effort into that, so we can definitely talk about iOS or sort of the always-on use case. I guess that's it. Do a lot of. Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to hear and more information on the actual to-market stuff.
Right.
Because I think that's really super cool, right? Like, I love that. Like, do you guys get a sense in terms of what the business side of this first stuff is?
Danny, you want to step up?
Danny, you want to give me just a quick elevator pitch?
Sure, yeah. So, a video window that connects spaces together. You feel like they're all working in the same place. People spend a lot of money on office space and, furniture and maybe all the collaboration that comes with, working right next to people and top people. We enable that kind of long distances around people all around the world. So I have people take with companies just because purchase listed, because they work in their loan who called us literally crying just to thank us for making purchase because she literally she's a single mother and she has got just divorced and has to stay in Chicago. And she wanted to work for a company in Silicon Valley, and the company wouldn't hire her, and she moved. And she said, "Well, we heard first." And then she explained them, and then they hired her as long as she used Perch.
So I'm
yeah,
right, and I've got a Perch.
portals.
Yeah, a Perch portal. So basically, it's like an iPad.
Yep.
My screen.
Yeah, if it's in a big screen, like in a big room like this, you connect it to a bigger screen.
Right.
A lot of people have or a team space. It's just the iPad literally built from the wall.
Okay. So in this case, it's an iPad connected to an HDMI monitor. The monitor is always on. I walk up to it. What happens?
Yeah. Annoying, right? But it automatically recognizes your face and unmutes the mic, and you can talk to people on the other side. I'm talking, you walk away, and
It doesn't know who I am, and I walk up.
it doesn't.
Oh, okay. So it
detects face.
knows that you're a real person walking up to it.
We're thinking about the recognition thing too.
That's cool. I walk up, it recognizes the fact that I'm a human being.
Yeah.
And I want to have a
Yeah.
Like I'm standing there for what, a couple seconds, or what, as long as it
Oh, so, yeah.
Wow. So,
okay, give it a little, we purposely put a delay in there so it doesn't activate as you walk by, because it's super.
Yeah, it probably get annoying.
Yeah, you know the other side.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you so
That
much,
screen's
but all of a sudden you hear.
So I walk up, I'm looking at the screen, and basically I'm seeing what the camera's pointed at on the other side.
That's right.
Right? So it could be, you know, their work area or their breakout area or wherever. So at set time, everybody kind of the portal and has their contact and exchanges ideas and stuff. And then does it do recording as well?
Yep.
No? Okay.
So we do a couple things. We call it polite technology, because we do a couple things to prevent it from being used for like surveillance. So polite technology is features that add up to making it feel really natural and comfortable.
Yeah.
So one of them is that we disable the rear camera on iPads. You use it on your iPhone. Your iPhone's just used to pop in. Right. But your iPad is designed
the client side versus the portal side.
Yeah, exactly. So on your iPad, we disable the rear camera. We make sure we play audio sound when you come and go, right, so that you can't sneak up on somebody. And then we obviously control the mic the way we said we do, but also we make sure that you can't eavesdrop. You pop into a place like a pop in. These are portals throughout my network right now. Here's my kitchen, my house.
Not typical use case.
I love it. Oh yeah.
So
that has mounted portrait, obviously.
I was going to say this portal has automatically accepted the connection, but the audio is muted on the other side, so we can't listen in on Dan's kitchen.
Until someone walks up.
Exactly. Yeah, somebody has on the other side of it.
It hasn't activated on the inside, right?
Exactly.
The human hasn't arrived.
That's right.
So when the dog jumped up on the chair and looked in the camera.
We don't have dog faces. There's my parents' house right there. We use it for family stuff as well, like especially aging relatives who want to stay more connected with them. But it's primarily really only works today within the enterprise space, because the way it works is it's based on.
Is it like a SaaS kind of model, or
it's based on domains? Yeah. Well, right now we don't charge anything. It's all free.
All free.
Yeah. Get fill your boots.
Yeah. Wow.
So I've got a question. Yep. This is the one. Have you got the robot man version? Because my CEO wants to wander around the office even when he's 1,000 kilometers.
What version is, we looked a lot at that stuff, so it's not, I played with all the cover box and the beam stuff and everything. And we think that that's like a flash in the pan, because it's, if you think about it, first of all, it takes a lot. It's really annoying. Like, you gotta, the other side has to consistently go up and, charge it. You can't find the charge port again. You can't go up downstairs. You can't use the elevator. I mean, it's really.
We have an office full of drones, and I imagine they're soon central managing cameras. It's going to be with the best space on flying. It will happen.
I've seen that happen in Palo Alto. I was standing there talking with my business partner in Palo Alto, and we were talking about WebRTC stuff. And I don't know, there's a company that built these. They're like a Segway with an iPad on it.
Yes, I've seen that's a telepresent over. Yeah, I've seen that.
And rolled up, and he's like, "You guys talking about WebRTC?" I'm like, "Hell, what's going on here? It's real."
It's called Double Robotics, and it's really actually, if you think about it, it's kind of somebody logs in, and then that first moment is really fun. You're like, "Wow, look at me! I'm wondering." You're distracting the whole office. Everybody's doing it. Nobody's thinking, and it's so yeah. You can't get into the conference rooms. You have to get assistance for everything. And then the battery dies, and people just get annoyed with it. So the novelty goes quickly from novelty to annoying.
Right.
So that's version 1, surely, you put it better. Lightweight drones.
Lightweight drones, okay. A parrot?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Oh, the robot!
Yeah. Already you can
They are drone type parrot thing?
I don't
and it's too loud. It's making tons of noise.
You
guys are all breathing.
The main one where the flint is the projector, so it projects. So it's like a big space.
It feels like Blade Runner all over again. I'm showing my age a bit when I say Blade Runner. So
I get it.
That's a new version.
That's right. Yeah, I think we're 8 o'clock. So, guys, really thank you for coming out. Just a quick shout out to Tobias and his group, QHR Technologies, for coming out and showing us all that cool. Really, I'm gonna sign up for, man. That was ass. Seriously, I got a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old, and we're in there every other week. What's wrong with them today? Wow. You know the stuff I do. I'm in.
I was sitting right there. I was ready to go, so it took me 3 minutes.
And thanks to the Perch guys for the quick preview, but I hook up and get you guys to a proper Prezi and get the next one. Maybe we can get another one going before the summer kicks in and have some fun with that. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out, you guys.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
If any of you do a video and you have any feedback for it, we really
Oh, cool.
and we actually don't because it's kind of really disorganized, but if we get emails or something, or I mean, just
Everyone's in the.
Message people in the media.
let us know.
You're not already in that media group.
You have feedback.
Thanks for organizing.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
It's passionate. So thanks for coming out.
By the way,
And like I said, if you got ideas, hit a message in the media group, you can post them, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Yeah, there's lots of use cases, and this stuff is just exploding in the marketplace. So, be a lot of fun stuff to talk about. There's even, I'm even hearing use cases that I would just never even imagine. No video, no audio, pure data channel stuff that is just crazy. So, see if I can put something of interest together in the next couple of meetings. Okay, thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thank you, man. Yeah.